Steve, thank you for your time. You mentioned $500,000, and I just want to clarify that this is the amount you are pumping into the business as opposed to the ticket size of the transaction. And if that's the case, over what duration are you investing this money?
This capital we're pumping in, so it's basically capital investment. This is just capital investment purely. This has got to be within the next 3 to 6 months. It's quite an ambitious growth plan.
For many Kenyans, the Ennsvalley product is really premium priced, and I just would like to know whether going forward, given the acquisition, there is any plan for you to revise downwards the price without compromising the quality in the interest of addressing the competitive landscape.
Yeah, it's a good point you've raised. We've basically done our engineering. We've gone from recipe, ingredients, and looked at everything from the ground up and looked at what the price point could be, should be for these products. So from tomorrow, the Kenyan consumer is going to see a reduction in these prices. No change in recipe, change in ownership, but change in price, yes, as well.
So Ennsvalley serves as the exclusive bakery service provider for the Chandarana chain of supermarkets. As it stands, what proportion of the revenue pie is the Chandarana business, and how would you like to scale this, at least in the medium term?
That's a good question. So we're looking at around 30%. I would like to scale it more. In my modelling, I've been reasonably conservative. I would like to think that we can double the revenue through Chandaranas within 2 or 3 years. I think what is going to lead that is going to be a lot of innovation, product innovation, for example, where the consumer can see product baked throughout the whole day, as opposed to walking in. If you look at some of the supermarkets, the bread is out there, and you don't know how long it's been out there. The experience that we want to give the Chandarana consumer is one of freshness and actually seeing their product being baked and almost on the cooling rack when they purchase it. So by being innovative, by delivering fresh product across some of the smaller stores as well, where it's actually hard to bake in store. ABC on Waiaki Way is an ideal example of where we can actually put our bakery now. So we'll actually be able to bake in a site like that. That's going to obviously, we hope, entice more consumers to come to Chandarana on the way home or in the morning to get the croissants to be freshly baked. So that's the expectation. In terms of growth, as I say though, I've been quite modest, but I would like to think we can beat our targets.
The quick service restaurants have really elbowed their way into the bakery space. If you look at Java Art Cafe, they have this whole pastry side, which is really throbbing in this market and provides new competition for players such as yourselves. And it's not surprising that if you look at your staff, you have actually poached from some of these players. How do you intend to strengthen your competition, especially in light of the sort of aggression we are seeing from these players?
Well, look, we're a food manufacturer at the end of the day, and we're obviously supporting the QSRs that are out there. I think what's important is that QSR see us as a partner, that we can add value, we can innovate. You've mentioned about bringing in talent from Java House. We deliberately brought in an executive chef. Yes, he was my number 2, and the position that he now fills is because of his performance there. But with 16 years experience behind him at Java House, we are able to offer ourselves as an innovative partner. And what you're now seeing is a lot of customers coming to us now looking for innovation, and we're able to do that for them. So for me, my experience within Java, the 3.5 years that I was there was valuable. It allowed me to understand the pressures that businesses are like this are under. It's a very, very competitive space. You've got investment coming in from the previous Java owners, Emerging Capital Partners, who now own Art Cafe. So it's a very competitive workspace, and we're here to support our customers to meet the demands and to meet the price points that they're looking for as well.
So over the last 7 months, we have seen you roll out 3 business lines in the produce space. You've seen you in the meat space. You're now in the bakery. In terms of your outlook, which are the business lines would you be looking at, and what's your plan as far as regional expansion is concerned beyond Kenya?
Look, our main focus is on Kenya, and it will be for some time. I think there's a lot of opportunities for synergy for other businesses that are either seeking to exit or they're looking for inward investment from people like ourselves to take their business to the next level. I think you've seen Big Cold. Newton introduced himself during the presentation just now, and this is one of the keys to our success. It's the fact that through this single distribution hub, through my single marketing team and the sales team, we're well equipped to expand very quickly. But as I've said, Kenya remains our key focus, and if something comes up in Tanzania or Uganda, be very interested. But I think the main thing is that we don't become overstretched, and the quality of our work then becomes impacted as well. Where Ennsvalley had a space of its own for many, many years, and companies like Brood and Brioche have clearly stepped in now and started to take some market share as well. But I believe the Kenyan market is becoming more discerning, looking for more international flavours, more international products that they've seen on their travels, whether it be to university or travelling for tourism. So I think Kenyans are hoping to see these kind of products brought here. It's very clear that this is a small bakery. It's not a mass market bakery. So we're certainly not going to be competing with the type of super loaf, for example. There is a space for that, but not in this facility. This is a very small facility that can do around 90,000 loaves per day. Currently, it's doing 5.5. So the idea is to use the equipment, which is very, very high quality equipment you've got downstairs, and we'll be making premium products out of that facility.
What's your strategy as far as cost containment is concerned? Many players in the bakery space will tell you that they might have very attractive top lines, but because of the cost element, it really erodes the measure in which their bottom line then looks strong. Curious to understand what your plans are going forward in terms of rationalizing costs.
Well, this is our third business. The first two businesses we took over, the produce business, which was DNC Foods, and of course Simplifine Foods, which is now Simplifine Meats. We've done the same exercise. We've invested ahead of the curve by bringing in the talent that can bring in the systems that can detect very fine movements in terms of cost variation. So we call it backflushing in the manufacturing sense, where we actually look backwards to see if we've actually manufactured to cost across a whole variety: utility costs, ingredients, labour costs per kilo output, for example. We do that on a daily basis. We report that on a daily basis. And that's the way that manufacturing should go. I started my career at McCain Foods, and that's very quickly where I learned if you can't measure it, you can't control it.